Hello and welcome to another World of Warships with me, Bubblebox, and today we're going to have our first look at one of the aircraft carriers, the USA Langley Tier 4 carrier. So it's the first US Navy aircraft carrier, and the Langley was converted from a collier, the USS Jupiter, at the Norfolk Naval Shipyard in 1922, and in 1924 the warship joined the Pacific Battle Fleet, where she was used for naval pilot training over about another 12-year period. Now in 1937 she was converted again, this time to an aircraft transport in fact, and in 1942 was attacked by the Japanese aircraft while transporting warplanes and took 5 bomb hits and was intentionally sunk by the USA Navy escort destroyers after her crew was actually evacuated. So that's the background to this ship, although we do use it in battle as a tier 4 ship, so you'll be coming up against kind of tier 3, tier 4 and tier 5 ships in this game. So let's have a look at the stats first of all, like we normally do before we get into a game. I've got it, I'll show you what I've done with the upgrades in a moment, but as far as survivability is concerned, well, it's pretty standard. 33,700 combat capability. Aircraft wise, it's got an aircraft stat of 13, so you've only got 2 squadrons under your command, and the number of aircraft per squadron is 6. Now it does on paper, if you first look slightly worse than the first tier 4 Japanese carrier, the Hosho, but with this Langley the aircraft per squadron is 6, and whereas first of all it's got 2 aircraft squadrons under its control, whereas the Hosho has 3 aircraft squadrons under its control. However, the Langley, the aircraft per squadron is 6, whereas with the Hosho it's only 4. So there are still 12 aircraft per ship for each of the tier 4 of the USA one compared to the Japanese one, so they're fairly even in that respect. The hangar capacity is 30 units, whereas in fact with the Hosho it's 24 units. So in fact I think the Langley is slightly stronger than the Hosho, despite the Hosho having 3 squadrons and the Langley having 2. Now I've chosen to have 1 fighter squadron and 1 torpedo squadron, although if you want you can get the Mark 4 Mod 2 upgrade here on the left of the screen, whereby you can have 2 torpedo bombers instead of having 1 fighter and 1 torpedo. But I like having the fighter to shoot down, especially if you come up against higher tier aircraft carrier. You're going to need that capability to shoot down some of their torpedo bombers for your allies. I've also upgraded the hull there, as you can see, and upgraded the cruise speed and stuff for the aircraft, and upgraded the mounted torpedoes for the aircraft as well. So that's the aircraft really. 1 squadron of fighters, 1 squadron of torpedo. The rest of it we're not too concerned about really. There's nothing you can do. It's fairly weak on artillery, of course, with just 4 secondary armament guns on the ship. I haven't shown the ship yet. We'll have a look around the ship in a moment, but there's just 4. So not a lot of firepower at all on this ship, very weak, not really able to defend itself too well. And then it's got a little bit of anti-air capability, again nothing too amazing, but it has got 16 smallish kind of caliber guns scattered around its hull, and so it can defend itself to a certain extent against aircraft, but only really if they're up close, because they've only got a firing range of 0.9 kilometers, so nothing too much to write home about about their AA guns. Maneuverability, it's not that maneuverable. It doesn't turn that fast. It's not fast at all. It's very, very slow. So if you're spotted by destroyers, you're going to really struggle to get away from them unless you've got allies in the area that can help you out. And the turning circle is pretty large as well. Concealment, averagey kind of thing for an aircraft carrier. It has got a detected range of 10.1, which isn't too bad, but you have got to keep that range between you and the enemy, because if they do spot you, they're going to basically go for you, because you're an aircraft carrier, and it's got a fairly large air detectability range as well. So that's the stats for the Langley. We'll have a quick look around it for you. We can look at the aircraft on the deck as well. So you can see it's just kind of a runway plonked on top of the hull of that collier ship, with a few guns attached to the side, And you can see I've got my torpedo bombers. I'm not sure which are they the ones at the front. I guess the bigger ones are going to need to have a bit more power, I guess, to carry those torpedoes. And then we've got our fighters as well. 6 of those and 6 of the torpedo bombers. So without further ado, we'll have a look at the Langley in battle. So here we are with our Langley. We've got some tier 3 and tier 4 ships on our side for battleships, 1 cruiser, 2 destroyers. The enemy's got 4 battleships, 2 cruisers and 2 destroyers. So quite a nice battle to have with an aircraft carrier, because the enemy haven't got any aircraft carriers. So in this particular battle, won't have to worry about their or their air superiority fighters in this game so much. We can concentrate more on torpedoing the enemy, although I will show some gameplay probably with later types of aircraft carrier showing the anti-air capabilities of the ship, of the aircraft as well. And now I have of course got 1 torpedo bomber and 1 set of fighters, and it would have been better in this particular battle to have 2 torpedoes, but I haven't. So what we'll do with our fighters will be spotting for ourselves and for our other ships to see where the enemy are, and trying to bomb them where we can for with the torpedoes. Now, as you can see, if you haven't watched World of Warships much before, it's completely different type of gameplay than using the battleships, the cruisers and the destroyers, in that it's played on this kind of strategic map. This is the smallest scale map, I suppose, so you can see again a complete overview of the battle map, so you can see where your ships are, where your allies are, and if they're spotted where the enemy are. You can see where the positions of all the land masses and the islands, so you can kind of plot your movements. It's much more strategic type of play than with the other types of ships in the game. So basically I'm going to keep my ship moving. I'm heading over, as you can see, towards D1, I think that is, with my ship, and you can set your waypoints on this map and just tell your ship where to go. I've set it on half speed so it doesn't take so it's just moving up. Now it's a bit of a trade-off how close you get to the enemy. The closer you are, the quicker the turnaround time for your planes. They can get back, refuel, rearm quicker and then get back out again, whereas if you're further back it takes longer. But if you're closer to the enemy, they're more likely to spot you and attack you, whereas if you're further away they won't spot you and they're less likely to attack you. So you can see my fighters spotted some couple of destroyers over there, so my allies will now know where those destroyers are. And I'm just microing my torpedo planes. Now I know the enemy haven't got an aircraft carrier, so I don't have to worry too much about their fighters. So I'm just moving my torpedo planes around the landmass on the left there, just to try and get vision on some of their units. And that cruiser looks as though it's almost going to run aground, so I'm going to get into close up. So this is the closest up you can get with the destroyers. So we're close up now. We can see where that ship's going. We can see, and we're going to try and get some torps off. It's really close. It might even hit. No, it's just. Is it going to stop? Oh, it's still moving. But I'm going to get some torps off. Just try to. You have to get your torps off before, or line up just before that circle. Otherwise, your plane kind of spins round. And I've got my torps off. I should get 3 hits here, maybe. Front one's hit, 2, 3, yeah, and took that cruiser down nicely. It's much harder to hit cruisers because they're more maneuverable than the battleships. Of course, it's easier to hit the battleships with your torpedoes, but that cruiser got itself into a bit of a predicament there, stuck against the side where it couldn't maneuver too easily, which made it quite an easy target for my torpedo bombers. So once the torpedo bombers have dropped their torpedoes, and luckily we got a kill there, they will fly automatically back to the aircraft carrier to rearm. Now you can micro them as well if you need to micro them around any enemy that are in the way, because anything they fly over, of course, will shoot at them if they've got anti-air capabilities. But I'll just let that one fly straight back because there aren't really any enemy. There might be a destroyer somewhere around there, but no, nothing too terrible. Now you can see my fighter is over our ships there, just going to go out and trying to pick up any destroyers that might be floating. Now there is something actually on our base, so I'm going to fly my fighter over towards the base to see if we can spot whatever's trying to capture on our base, or whichever's trying to capture the capture point there, because our ships are actually quite a long way from the capture point, and if we don't do something about this, then they could win the game really quickly. So we need one of our ships to turn and get into that capture zone, really. Now they've also spotted some destroyers, a couple of battleships and a cruiser, which are getting very close to my carrier there. And I've probably spotted my, well, I haven't spotted it yet because they're 11 points. They're soon going to spot my carrier if I'm not careful. So I'm going to send my torpedo bombers over in that direction to try and protect my carrier and speed up to full speed with my carrier, just to get it over to the left hand side of the map a little bit more. So I'm just bringing my fighters, keeping my fighters moving, keeping on spotting the enemy. The enemy are in the capture zone, so we've got to do something about that really quickly. Now I'm going to have to use my... I wanted to go... I'm just thinking, trying to go for this, maybe this battleship over here, which is kind of up against the landmass, so it might be an easy target. We'll see. We'll see if we can get an angle on it. And you can see they're firing at me now. They're firing at the aircraft carrier, but I just want to get these torpedoes off and see if we can hit this battleship. And we're just going to drop there. Nice and close, so he hasn't got a chance to turn, really. I fired a little bit early, but we've got 3 hits on him. He's going to take out, well, yeah, it's quite a strong battleship, I guess, but I just fired a little bit early there. It is quite difficult because the planes move in and you can't kind of redirect them once they're inside that circle, otherwise they just fly out and fly back in again. So I've got to get my torp bombers back as quickly as possible, get them rearmed. There is a battle, there are 2 battleships coming across, you can see there, to protect me a little bit, and they've also hit whatever was in the base, so they've stopped them capturing the base, which is good. But you can see that once the enemy see an aircraft carrier, they go for it. So both of their battleships and their cruiser and the destroyer there now coming over towards to try to kill me. But luckily for me, I've got these two battleships on our side, while outnumbered, trying to protect me. I've also got some a cruiser, a battleship and a destroyer down in the south of the map there, heading over trying to destroy that battleship. So at the moment we're in a goodish kind of position, although we are a little bit outnumbered. I just need to get my torpedo bombers rearmed. In another 3 seconds I can get them back out and attacking the enemy. But you can see there's torps going towards one of my battleships there, and I hope they're going to miss. He's turned nicely, and he's still managing to fire on the enemy. The torpedo bombers, I can get them back out now and give him a bit of assistance. So we're back onto back zooming in again. Get my torpedo bombers and keep my aircraft carriers moving. It's really slow, of course, the Langleys, but I'm keeping it moving around as much as I can. It's not as easy to maneuver because you are on the strategic map, so I'm just going to try to maneuver my torpedo bombers kind of on the other side of these battleships to the way in which they're firing against my battleship, just to try to confuse them. Now they will, if they're a good player, they should probably try to turn once they see my destroyers, but they might be concentrated so much on my ally there and fighting my ally, they might not even notice my torpedo bombers coming in. So we're coming in for a strike now. We're just lining up, get our torpedoes away. Now I'm actually really close, and they might not have armed. And that was a huge mistake. The 2 of them hit. You can see that the 2 that struck last hit. Now the first 3 didn't explode when they hit because I actually got too close to the enemy, and if you drop that close, because I was trying to be so accurate, if you drop that close they don't actually arm. So 3 of my torpedoes didn't even arm. The last 2 did arm and did hit that battleship, and now hopefully I've caused it a fire or a flood or something, so that is damaged because I've only got 1 battleship now protecting me from these 2 battleships and this cruiser. So I'm having to head straight for this corner, which if I don't destroy those battleships and that very, very soon, I'm going to be in big trouble. My torpedo bombers are back on board, rearming now, and they are concentrating on our 1 remaining battleship. They're not firing at me at the moment, but he is in real trouble. He's got 2 battleships on him and a cruiser. Now we've got our other battleships are heading for the cap zone, and our cruiser's kind of moving around looking after that destroyer in the down bottom there. But that destroyer there, is that battleship there is actually nearly dead with the enemy, so hopefully he can finish that off, and I'll go for the other one. Now if he can fit that, he's going to finish that guy off. Yep, there we go, nice. He's been attacked by some torpedoes there as well, so he's going to probably, I hope he can dodge those. He should be able to, the angle he's sailing at. So we can attack this, we'll attack this, now shall I go for the destroyer? No, we'll go for this guy up close here, because he's going to be trouble to me if I'm not careful. Now, this is a cruiser, they are harder to hit because they're more manoeuvrable, but we'll try and get some torpedoes off on this guy if we can. Just get outside the circle, turn, not get too close, because this time, get our torps off. We're at a bit of a difficult angle. I'll just pull away actually, and we'll go around for a, we'll just move around, try and get a better angle, because yeah, it's much more difficult against the cruisers. I'm just concentrating a bit here, so we'll try and get some side shots. Okay, we'll go in at this angle. He'll probably turn. I might be a bit late there. Torps away a little bit late. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hits. Yeah, that's decent. That's decent. Got 3 of our 6 torpedoes to hit there. And we've caused him flooding as well, so he's going to be in a bit of trouble. Now we've still got our destroyer up there, who's concentrating on, sorry, our battleship there in the north of, just north to the north of us, and he's concentrating at the moment on the other battleship, and he's being hit by the cruiser as well. So I'm hoping he can stay alive a bit longer at least, so I can get my torpedo bombers rearmed again and get them back out to finish off this cruiser. Now I'm in trouble here because I'm hitting the yeah, I'm in trouble. I'm going to hit the land. There's not a lot I can do. I've got nowhere to go here. Absolutely nowhere to go, but I don't want to be stuck as a sitting target. But I've got to get, basically I've got to get my torpedo bombers off. Now we need to get rid of this cruiser. If we can get rid of this, oh, and the battleship took some big hits there, so our battleship's in trouble. Now I've got my torpedo bombers out again. I think that cruiser is going to concentrate on just finishing off that battleship before he comes for me. So it gives me a chance just to go on full speed reverse here and try and get out of this really difficult position that I'm in. Now I can see there are other battleships actually going towards the capture point, because our 2 battleships have hit the capture point, so their other battleships is broken off from attacking us 2 and is going for the capture point, which has kind of saved me a little bit. And we can attack this cruiser. So torps away. No, we're just going to pull away because it got destroyed, and we'll head over to the other battleship that's heading for, so we saved our torps there because he did just get destroyed by a battleship, and we can head over to the capture point. Now the enemy's got 2 battleships left. We've still got 3 of our battleships and our aircraft carrier, so it's looking pretty good at the moment. Looking pretty good. Sorry, my torps did get released there. I'm just going to rearm. Now I've got to get my flipping ship out of here. I don't know what I did there. I think, why isn't it going backwards? I think it's just really slow to respond. Now it's going, is it going backwards now? Yeah, now it's going backwards. Right, it's just really slow to respond. So I've got to get myself extricated from this position. I did release my torps, so I've got to rearm, get to the middle and help my guys, help my 3 fellow battleship captains destroy the, either to capture or destroy their other 2 battleships. So we rearm now. We can get our torpedo bomber back out and head it over towards the centre and start sailing. Hopefully get on full speed here, turn to the left or to the port side and start steaming over towards the middle so that we can rearm our torpedo bombers quicker. So looks like where's our 3rd battleship? We've got another battleship? I can only see 2 of them. Oh, there's the other one over in the corner there. So we've still got our fighters flying around doing not much apart from spotting, of course. Torpedo bombers heading for the middle, and we've got 2 battleships in the middle. Now one of their battleships is kind of heading away. One of their battleships is in the zone now, so that'll be preventing us from capturing. I'm just extricating myself from all the noises. I'm just getting close to the edge. Managed to turn my lumbering Langley around and get it steaming up towards the centre now. So we're probably going to try and get to that battleship that's in the capture zone. See if we can get some torps off on it. So back on the close-up view again. We'll head towards it, try and get a decent angle on it. As our battleship shoots theirs. Now their battleship's got quite a lot of health left there, as you can see, so it's still quite strong, but if we can weaken it or even sink it, would be great. So we'll get our torps off. Not get too close, make sure they arm. Torps away. And it's looking like it's a good one. This is a good one. I'm going to hit with most of these. 1, 2, 3. Back one misses. 4, 5 hits. Nice. That really whacked him down. Only one of those torps missed. That was a nice salvo as we go back to rearm. Gives our guys in the middle there a good chance to sink this battleship, I hope. So we'll continue flying around with our recon plane while our torpedo bombers get back to the carrier, as I'm trying to get my carrier as close as I can. I'm going at full speed towards the middle. I don't care if their battleships spot my carrier now, because they're not going to target me. They're too busy with our battleships. So he's nearly dead, that battleship in the middle. Hopefully our battleships can take him out. This Myogi over there for the enemy has got good health. But this one in the middle has just been sunk. One of our battleships has gone down as well. Looks like that one in the middle sunk one of our battleships before it went down. So we've got 2 battleships left. They've still got 1. So still got to be a little bit careful here. And I need to get my torpedo bombers out as soon as they're rearmed to attack this battleship and help my guys out. So we're back, capturing the center zone again as the enemy moves in. And that's one of our players saying wait for me to the other player. I think it's because his health is really low. The guy in our cap zone, his health is really low, whereas the one coming in for the enemy, his health is still pretty high. So yeah, so if the guy in the middle goes down, we can still be in a few problems. So I've got rearmed and I'm back in the game, so we head back forward the middle and attack this battleship. The aircraft, if they never seem to run out of fuel, I have to say. They never have to seem to, I haven't come across that yet anyway, they don't seem to have to go back to the ship for fuel. They can stay out as long as they can. And the only reason to go back to the ship is really to rearm. So we're getting closer, so we should be able to make our attack run quite soon. And you can see both our battleships are on quite low health, whereas their battleship has actually got more health than our 2 put together. So we're going to be a little bit careful. I'm trying to get an decent angle on this. It is turning a little bit. The good thing is I'll take its eye off the ball a little bit and help even if I'm just flying around, it'll help our allies a little bit. So let's get our angle here. Just swap it just a little bit. Get my torps off and it's turned. It's seen, it knows what I'm doing, it knows what I've dropped. So it's getting I should get 1 hit or 2. 1 hit. Oh, ow. Nice manoeuvring there by the enemy battleship. I did get 1 hit only, but the good thing is it kind of made him turn his guns away from our battleships, giving them a chance to get a couple of good salvos off. I hope to get a couple of good salvos off. And it's also pushed him out of the capture zone for a second. It looks like one of our battleships might even have almost run aground there on the south of the capture zone. So that big lumbering battleship we just attacked, we only hit it with 1 torp, but it caused him, you can see, to turn away into a narrow gap, which is difficult for him to maneuver in. So I don't even know if he's going to be able to turn around there, or whether he's going to have to go all the way around the island to get back into the capture zone, which gives me a chance to get my torpedo bombers back to the aircraft carrier, get them rearmed yet again, and get them back attacking that battleship. And I'm still full speed towards the capture zone myself. So it looks like both of my battleships, both of our battleships did run aground there. So one of them's backing up. Luckily he's not in target range of the Myogi, who is, as I said, having to go all the way around that island. Oh, he said good game there. Maybe he's on fire or he's flooding or something. He might be flooding. I didn't check that actually. He's probably flooding actually from the torpedo and he's not able to repair the flood. So he might be dying slowly behind that island. But the battleship's getting some more shots off and takes him out. And it's GG. So that was a nice game showing the Langley Class Tier 4 aircraft carrier, the first aircraft carrier that I've managed to use. Pretty decent battle there. Got a kill, got some nice torps off and helped my allies, which in aircraft carrier probably half the time you won't be accruing XP points for yourself as much as helping out your teammates, like spotting for them with your planes and trying to hassle the enemy as much as possible. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this vid. Please do give us a like and comment and subscribe if you fancy it, and I'll see you in the next one.